hopefully coming up just in a second.
Well, gentlemen, anyone want to tell me what's going on out there? Not much fun, is it? Well, nobody said it was all going to be easy. These guys are tough, aren't they? And they want to win. Do you want to win? Do you want to win? Do you want to win? Does anybody here want to win? Concentrate, goddammit. Run faster, hit harder. Anybody else?
Sloppiness! No one give me nothing but attitude and sloppiness. We weren't at the races, not at the races, sloppiness, attitude, shit.
What are you, too big? Nobody is bigger than Fash FC. You're an apprentice. I am your sorcerer right now.
Pull your fucking self together. Fucking wibbly wobbly, fucking wibbly wobbly. Jelly on a fucking plate, wibble, fucking wobble. Singing fucking 15 granny because we send you to fucking school. Or a fucking teacher and a fucking wibble, fucking wobble.
Disgraceful. 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 It's a f***ing disgrace.
Go! Go!
Come on!
Referee! Referee!
You're obviously a brave man.
Move it. Move it.
Get your love, so you're disgraceful. Disgraceful! Can we not this?
I suppose that you couldn't get any further away from the hurly and burly of football than my farm down in Hampshire. It's feeding time for the horses that sets the pace of my day, rather than the blowing of some referee's whistle. I suppose you could call it idyllic.
The nicest shot you've done today. Good shot. Good shot. Good shot.
Fasten your safety belts.
Hello. As someone who's spent most of his working life watching and reporting sport, I derive great pleasure from looking back over the years and recalling some of these marvellous moments in sport, which I'd like to share with you now. And the way we can do that is by digging into the bulging archives of BBC television, which are full of such moments, and I suppose we could draw on them almost endlessly.
The modern manager prepares his tactics rather like a general in warfare.
This Rimner, the goalkeeper, is a newcomer. The only thing he didn't seem to do well was with the goal that scored against him. He seemed to be far too late making up his mind up to dive. Well, it could be a pointer. We go out to Morgan now. He's a player I haven't seen a great deal of, but he costs an awful lot of money.
It's all money now, in these football sport. It's all how much money they earn, they must be good. But they're not. They're not that good. Fuck them.
I'm here today with the Arsenal football team, and in a moment you'll see just what a fine lot of fellows they are.
Arsenal 1-0 up. He's got an open goal.
What a truly astonishing state of affairs.
It seems hard to imagine that a young man in Leeds with 1 O-level in English language would ever become chairman of one of the greatest clubs in Europe. But he had to start somewhere, and Brian's Fish Restaurant in Headingley was as good a place as any.
Who would be at my dinner table if I had to cook the perfect meal for half a dozen footballers? Well, first of all, I'd have something quite robust and strong, and something quite meaty for a starter, almost like a caramelised pork belly. That would go to John Terry, because he's full of muscle. Then for a fish course, I'd have perhaps the most smooth, sophisticated pasta, a ravioli or a tortellini of lobster.
The staple diet of Italy. The Irish lads love a pasta.
With all the hard training we're doing in this summer period, it gets us through the day, you know.
But its energy-giving qualities have long been valued by marathon runners and Tour de France cyclists. Ruud Gullit even wears it on his head. Rasta pasta. Rasta pasta. Rasta pasta. Rasta pasta.
And if he doesn't like Loftus Road, why doesn't he go back to Scotland?
Ali McCoy is quite simply the best striker in Europe. As a sex symbol, he's second to none.
That's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good.
Today you look at children who are doing GCSEs, and now everybody assumes you're going to get A's and B's. But in those days, whilst I only got 1 O-level, it's completely different expectations and probably standards of success.
What's the most you've shot in a day? You did mention it before. Was it 500 and something?
550. But I would have killed a good 100 more if I'd been able to get more cartridges. I ran out twice.
When it comes down to it, I'm one of the most determined, honourable, normal guys you're gonna meet. If you spend time to talk to me properly, you'll find out. You'll soon find out how normal I am. How I ain't got no hidden agendas. How I'm not this, I'm that. I'm just, I'm just a normal guy, and I don't do it in your face. That's what I grew up in. I don't do it in your face. You don't do those things for me standing right in people's faces. You just do it, just chill out about it.
I can't see David Beckham trying that one in the World Cup, can you? But a mortal blow did strike the Tigers in 1975 with the death of Harold Needler. To many people, Harold Needler was Hull City.
Looking back over all the years that you've been associated with Spurs, either as player, manager, supporter, what do you think the club really means to you?
I like them.
And that, yeah, you know what? That I'd serve someone like Roy Keane, because he's quite capable of eating a whole fillet of beef on his own. Have you seen the size of his legs?
You used to have to wear short trousers until you were 13. I was very, very heavy as a schoolboy, and that was a bit of a problem because I was quite a big lad, and a lot of people used to poke fun at me, and I think it put me off lessons.
He was a great mimic, Terry. He was just an absolute unbelievable character. Great mimic, a singer, lover.
I mean, Terry could have actually been, if he chose to have been, a professional singer.
I never felt I was a particularly good exam taker.
Did you get nervous about exams?
Got very nervous about exams. Never used to sleep.
Obviously, I admire him. He's brilliant. So he's my dad. Like, that's what everything about him I like. So he's a mate, really. That's how it is with me and him. Really, we do a lot of things together.
They have respect for their mother and father. They've got to have respect for Mace and myself. That's not saying we're a mother and father, but in here we are their mother and father.
That's what I do want a family. You get to the age when you start thinking about that. Back then, I wasn't thinking about kids getting clothes, like a big kind of 2.4 families. I'm not like that. I'm not in a box. Don't put me in a box. I don't want to be in a box.
you know?
I'm really going to look forward to managing Middlesbrough and playing for Middlesbrough. Let's hope it's going to be a successful time.
And then came the former managers, David Bassett, Johnny Payton, George Kirby and Mike Keane, followed by Steve Harrison, player, coach and manager.
You know, I want to learn to act. I want to learn to act. Just not go straight into it and like into the darkness. You know, I really want to learn my trade. Learn the trade, and I've got a lot of passion inside me, and a lot of situations have happened to me, and I can portray them, and they can come out, and which you do need as an actor.
So, thank God we didn't have Russell Crowe or whoever else we may have considered. That, you know, in my mind now, there's only one person that could have played this part. It's Ally McCoist.
Are you taking the mickey? Not with this script. No. Well, look, my client is innocent. When Mr. McCoy dresses up and tries to be amusing, it goes horribly wrong.
I love Leeds United, and don't make no mistake, whether it's Nigel Martin, David Harvey or Gary Spray, got a picture of Billy Bremner, I got to sign one of Johnny Giles to see Leeds United at Crawler, 150 miles, so I wonder, I love Leeds United, I'm Leeds you till I die, I'm Leeds you till I die.
I think if I'd have worked harder, I'd have done a lot better.
1 O-level in English language.
College for a year after school, sort of failed miserably. Got very nervous about exams. Completely different standards of success.
Aside from his work at Leeds United, Peter has recently become chairman of the Education Authority.
What a truly astonishing state of affairs.
It was September the 12th, 1974, when Chairman John Deacon's Rolls-Royce brought Ian St John in style to meet the Portsmouth players for the first time prior to an away match in Nottingham. Portsmouth optimism ran high.
A good manager can make a club, and a bad manager can take them to the depths.
When his team lost 1-0 to this silly goal against Bristol City last December, St John was already accepting that relegation to the 3rd Division was on the cards.
Well, there's lots of various basic reasons why. I think the main reason, the big reason, is the fact that I've not been able to buy any players.
Well, Sid, a lot of people have credited you with the discovery of Steve Bull, and it's true that you were the first man to really recognise his abilities, I think.
Yeah, well, I was put it in mainly for Tipton's youth team, really. You know, that was the idea of it in the first place. You know, at the time, I don't think I was scouting for the Albion when he was 13. You know, I was friends with Woodrow, I'd been the Albion's chief scout. You know, but she used to borrow players off from the youth team occasionally.
But you saw Steve playing in a little game over the back of your house, I believe.
Yeah, I was match on the Willings of the schools, see, and I thought, well, I'll ask him to play for me in 2 years' time when the game's ended, if he'll come and have a game over Tipton's youth team.
Now there you are, John. I mean, I know you play in the Premier Division, but that First Division has got some big-name players and almost big-name managers as well.
Yeah, a lot of them. I mean, you take Clive Allen, for example. I mean, he's been around the world, it looks like, twice.
Yeah.
I mean, great player, great player.
Good goal scorer, big bully there as well.
Yeah.
And of course the managers, you know, when you think Keegan, Hoddle, Terry Cooper, Arthur Cox. I mean, they're all big men in the game.
It's interesting to see they're all ex-players and they're all playing in the First Division, or they're all managing in the First Division. You know, none of them in the Premier League.
Well, that's right, but they're all battling to get in that Premier League.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and I would think that watching the football this year, I think you'll see some very good footballers, everybody like Vice to get in there.
Yeah.
It should be good stuff.
What about the preparation for today's game?
In terms of...
Well, how did you prepare yourself mentally and decide what you were going to instruct the players to do?
I went shopping with the kids in the morning and Lynn, and I think I was tidying up the garden at 11 o'clock.
Gives me particular pleasure and very flattered and honoured to name the house Trevor Brooking.
Well, we must apologise, we've lost the link from Upton Park for the moment. Obviously, we'll be doing all we can to get you back with the action, and you've actually come back to us at a bad time, because Big John here has been eating all the sandwiches while he was watching this.
I say there's a big cake with a load of icing on it, you know. and we don't want to give anyone a bit of that cake, and we want to take a little slice of it every Saturday. And once we get 4 or 5 of that slices of that cake, that's what it's about for me. You know, then you can eat the whole of the cake. That's the playoff final.
A hot chocolate fondant with milk ice cream, but I'd serve it in a big, big portion, because this guy loves getting his face tucked into sort of chocolates and sweets, and I'd serve that to Wayne Rooney. It'd be like a pig in shit.
Players can ask whatever they want, but it's up to directors and chairmen to make sure they only spend what they can afford. And it's easy to blame players, but why should you? At the end of the day, if somebody comes into me and says, this is what I want to be paid, if this club can't afford to pay it, we don't pay it.
I mean, I know it's taken a lot of burden off our managing director, Sam O'Mahon, to know that he's not paying all the bills, you know.
But, I mean, you want your own ground, surely, John. You want your own
Yeah, I mean,
feel of your own
we'd
ground.
all like to have, there's the thing that we've got our own ground, but it's just not, you know, I mean, the chairman is saying now we've got to start running clubs as businesses, and it's just not financially viable, saying at the moment, it really isn't.
Everyone in London are happy that Fulham stayed at the Cottage.
I mean, really, I mean, it's not financially viable for every club to have its own individual ground. I mean, it would be great, but I mean, can you imagine how many there are at the moment?
Right, well, let's concentrate on
Just
West
not
Ham and
financially viable, saying at the moment, it really isn't.
West Ham and Derby. And as I said, that first of all, we'll have a look at the tables. Let's have a look at the tables, first of all.
When are you going to motivate these players? When are they going to start performing? Told you at the start of the season, these lads ain't good enough. Get your hand in your pocket, Chairman, or else we're going down.
The financial state is really as bad as the newspapers have been painting.
It's bad.
Portsmouth did continue to struggle despite the expensive signings. With no money available for new players, Ian St John tried to develop the youth system. But the youngsters were unable to stop the slide, and confidence hit an all-time low. Well, even the Streakers were of 4th Division quality. They kept their pants on.
And between them, they masterminded the great escape, when, to be honest, dropping out of the league looked more likely.
Missed it.
Don't put me in a box. I don't want to be in a box.
We must win. The chips are down. Missed it.
Disgraceful. Told you at the start of the season, these lads ain't good enough.
I like them.
And that is the end of that. That was a sort of average failure. But then who cares? We enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, welcome back, and we do apologise if you know, you wasted your afternoon in some way. And as I said, that you know,
We are a massive football club, and you know you can't afford to get it wrong. I mean, getting it wrong is financially a disaster, as well as, you know, personally it could well have been the end of my chairmanship.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed these nostalgic moments. There are many, many more that we could share, and perhaps one day we shall. I hope so. Goodbye.